Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Gunn. I'm coordinator of digital scholarship here at Catholic University of America Libraries. Today, we're going to be looking at AntConc and how you can do basic text analysis with it. So this will be a hands-on tutorial. I'll show you some excellent features of AntConc. This workshop is geared towards those who are just starting out in basic text analysis. So hope to show you a lot of cool things today. So let's get started. So basically, why is AntConc used? It's very much a good piece of software for analyzing corpus linguistics. It is desktop and open access, so freely available for you, and it's quite easy to download and install. It is a corpora search and concordance software, and it does delve into a lot of excellent features. Some of these functions involve concordancing, seeing where a word is in the text. You can do collocation searching, how one word is related to another word, how close by it is in a particular text. You can look at word frequency, how often the word pops up in a particular text. You can look at keyword associations in that, very much a statistical measure of which is what keyword is. So we'll get into that in a bit. You can look at n-grams as a particular function, as well as the software seems pretty straightforward, but you can go into the deep end using a regular expression. So I'll do a quick demo of regular expressions and show you some of the possibilities that you can use. You do need, there are two aspects of AntConc. Doing basic text analysis, you can just go in, throw some words in, look at material results, that sort of thing. But the more you know about general statistics and the more you know about regular expressions, the greater value AntConc will be to you. So I will just merely touch on those and then move on, since today is only basic text analysis. So the text that we're going to be using, or should I say the corpus, is the Brown Corpus of American English, and it was created back in 1961. A couple of scholars at Brown University. It was the first modern computer-readable general corpora. So I like to use that. It consists of 1 million words in American English. So just representative texts were used from 15 different categories, just so they could have a good standard reference. So areas like journalism, prose, skills, hobbies, biography, science, humanities, text, just a general cross-section of written work. It is small compared to a lot of today's corpora, but it's still being used by people. So we will use that for today. So that brings up the next question. If you want to use other corpora, I recommend checking out these two sites, englishcorpora.org and corpusdata.org. Tons of corpora there. A lot of some of them free, a lot of them are subscription based. So you do have to shop around. I also mentioned here, if you're doing, today we're just going to be concentrating on untagged searches. What does that mean? Just unstructured text and searching for that unstructured text. However, you can do tagging of words. So for example, parts of speech. You can use this service called Clause, which will go through your text, whatever corpus that you're using, and tag and bag, all the verbs and the nouns and all that sort of stuff, prepositions listed in there. So again, it's an added field of corpus annotation that you can use in order to analyze a particular corpus. So I just mentioned that to you in passing. It's called Clause. All right, so our next spot is to go to AntConc. So here it is. I sent you the link to AntConc, easily downloadable. So you can install it by yourself. Really not a problem. A lot of interesting information in that on the website. So I recommend taking a look at that. There are links to tutorials on YouTube, hope that go into greater depth, all that sort of thing. So definitely something to check out. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to walk you around the interface. We'll do some searches in that and just show you some interesting features of the software. So here we have our main page. When you open it up, this is what you get. And you'll notice right away, they'll have the various tools listed across the top here, which is quite ready for you to use. What I recommend that you do is that we can check out a number of these. If we're looking at the keyword in contents or quick, I should mention here that if you look down at the search query, you'll have different search boxes down here that you can click in that. If you look at plot, it changes up a bit. If you have file view, again, changes and as we go through it. So I'm going to be showing you some of these examples listed here throughout here. All right, so let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to open up one of our texts. So I'm going to go here under File. And you see a number of excellent features here. We're going to go to Open File as Quick Corpus. So we have a file in mind, and I have the brown corpus, as I mentioned, and this is the brown corpus untagged. So it's just regular text. And I'm going to select, there's 15 texts in there. I'm going to select all of them. So I'm going to do Shift A to R, and I select all of them, and I open them up. It's going to take a little bit of time. Underneath here, right on the bottom left-hand corner, says progress, and it'll tell you how it's loading and all that. When it's finished, you'll get this box, and it'll say a temporary corpus, temp.db, as in database, not a file, but as a database, has been created. The corpus can be saved via the corpus manager, and we'll get into that in a bit. So there it is, and you'll notice on the left-hand side, all our text. There's 15 texts there that are ready to go. Now, you'll notice that all these texts are TXT, so very basic, but do not be dismayed by that. If you go up to settings and you look under global settings and you go to files right here, I click there and files, you'll notice all the different types that have been added in the past year or two. So very recent upgrade, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, that this material was added. So you can add text, PDFs, Word docs, HTML, XML, if you're working in that area, and the various text files here. You even have tab separated value and common separated value if you need to. So you have all these particular options. So it's very much expanded the utility of this software. All right. All right, so what are we going to do here? We're going to do a couple of quick searches here. One is we're going to look at search query down here, and we're going to look at words. By the way, we are in keyword and context quick. So we're just going to take a quick look at that. So we're going to click on words here, but we're not going to select any words. We're just going to keep the field blank, and we're going to start. And it's going to tell you, oh, no search words. So that's always important to take a look at what you're typing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do process. The word process, I like that word. It's a lot of variety to the word. So I'm going to use that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with no words selected. So I'm just looking for this, basically this letter by letter combo out there. And I do start. All right, and we've got some results. So let's take a walk around the screen here. So we have 320 hits. right here, we can look at the page size. I'm going to go up to 500 here. So I've got everything on one page just for convenience. We have 300 here. So you'll notice here it is, keyword in context. So here's the word process. It gives you the words before and it gives you the words after. And you go through and you take a look. It says process, processing, processing, processes, procession. You get a sense, right? Anything where the word process plus whatever is going to be added in there. So right away, you got to know what you're looking for. So if you do that, that's what you have. Now, if you're saying, you know what, I just want the word process. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to redo the search. And 320 is going to go drop down to 197 right here. So now we're just looking for the word process. And we see process, 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 process. Oh, look, all capital letters, but doesn't matter because we did not select case. So if I selected case here and redid the search, my 197 would become 189. So it tells me there's about 8 words out there that are at least one letter is capitalized, in the case process or process with all caps. So if I do this with a capital P, I just have one word there. So there's different ways you can using case. So important to keep in mind what you are selecting. So that is the first thing. The second thing I want you to show you here is you notice some interesting colors here. You have of listed here. You have social and control. The word first word is in red, next one is green, and the other one is in sort of a purple here. What do they represent? They represent your sort options down here at the left-hand side, the bottom left-hand corner here, sort to right. So sort 1 is 1 to the right, 2 to the right, and 3 to the right, and they're ordered by frequency listed here. So of is the most frequent word after process in this particular corpus. If you go further down, you have, oh, we skipped it wrong. We have the, and then we have in, and it goes through that way. That's how it begins to sort. So you begin to gather some information about your word process and how it relates in a particular sentence. If I wanted to say, you know what, that's nice, but I want to take a look at the left-hand side, so we can do sort to left and do the search again. It will show the words on the left. So that's pretty interesting in terms of how you can see frequency. If I go back here, you have different ways you can sort center and all that. I'm going to keep this here. So sort order by frequency, we can also order by value. So here we have process, and then it's all sorted in alphabetical order going down through here. So that's another way that one could look at your results. I'm going to go back to frequency. There you go. The colors I should mention, if you're not particularly fond of those colors, you can always go back to settings up here, top left-hand corner, and look at the global settings, and you can go to colors, and you can change all these colors here to whatever you want, whatever your fancy is. So just to let you know, you're not geared towards those. If you want different colors to represent different things. Excuse me. All right, so let's take a look at four. We're looking at the lists of the frequency of the tokens. Yes. So if you want to look at context size, you can change this. Let's go to 20, for example. There you go. And that'll reorganize it. And you can see how it reads. All right, so here we have the token size. Okay, so that's a very quick way of looking at keyword in context, but there's also something else you can do as well. You can take a double click on any one of these words. So presentation and times of John Sloan, if I were to click on that, if I double click on that, it will take me to the file view. So here I am in this particular one. It says 4 hits in this particular file, Brown C. And you'll notice it's highlighted right here. And you'll notice also we're looking at it from a file view point of view. So there are different ways that the tools interact with each other in that regard. So that is something to keep in mind too. So I'm going to go back to here. So if you wanted to look at, let's see, this one here. There we go. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to load up. You can go in and you can scroll through the text and get a sense of where the item is. So I really like that feature, going back and forth. So you may want to delve further into it beyond keyword and context. You can do that. So I did show you, let's see, words and case. So the next one what you can do is you can really get into this by using regular expressions. So let's say you really want to take a look at regular expressions. So what I can do is type in a very basic search here. Let me just type this in. So there it is. So it kind of looks like all goobly-gook, but for regular expressions, you do have quite a variety. The issue is a couple things. One, regular expressions are often specific to the software. So, excuse me, for example, Python software will have its own regular expressions. There'll be some overlap with other software in that, but you have to be very careful in this. In this particular case, we do have this actually does work. And there's actually a tutorial out there that I can share with you later if you like, that shows you some basic regular expressions that you can use within AntConc that will actually work. The thing is, regular expressions are quite complicated, and you do have to invest some time in learning how to use them, but it's not insurmountable. So let me take a look at this here. So what I'm saying here in these brackets, these square brackets, I'm saying look for lowercase or uppercase letters from A to Z. So basically any word out there. Next, I'm saying, okay, the asterisk means any letters that come after that first letter until you hit the letters ED. And then it has a backward slash and B, meaning I'm looking for just words. So that's how you break that down. And so basically what I'm looking for are past tense, English words past tense, anything with the word ED ending. So let me do this. I'll type that in and I'm going to start, and it's going to run. It may look like it's not doing anything, but just look down here at progress at the bottom left-hand corner. It'll take a little bit of time. And voila. So whenever you get results, be skeptical. That's generally good practice. You want to take a look at your hits here. So we have a lot here. We have 41,000 total hits, top left-hand corner here. So words with the past tense, and we have them listed as past tense, verb past tense, so ed all the way through. And look at the variety that we have. Right? So you can look at that, and then you can look at how the words are related. So it looks like to is a very common preposition coming after a past tense noun, for example. So that is a quick way that one could take a look at a look for particular words. So, and again, you can get very, very specific and complicated expressions put in here. So that's something that you can work towards. The website is linguisticsweb.org. And if you go to that site, just type in AntConc and you should find the tutorial. So the website is linguisticsweb.org, and very straightforward there. All right, let us go to plot. So let me deselect that. And I'm going to go to plot here. And what I like to do, I like to clear out all the stuff I can. So quite often, just, as a good practice using AntConc, if you're starting something fresh, I highly recommend that you clear all your tools and files, just to be clear, because sometimes when you're using some of the advanced features, they will stick around and they could gum up your results. And that's happened to me on a number of occasions. So you want to clear all your tools and files. So here we have that. And I'm going to, again, open up my brown corpus. All right, so we have that temporary database created, wonderful. And now we're going to go to plot. What we're going to do here is we're going to look at number of words here. So I'm going to type in process. And I'm going to do that. And there, look, we have some plots, very interesting. So we notice we have 197, which is the same as we got with quick. We notice here that we have 14 files are located here. The brown corpus has 15. So there's one here. This tells us right away there's one file that does not have the word process in it, which is fine. So what's great about plotting is that you can take a quick, broad overview of your text, of your corpus, and see, using this particular word, you can see what is the most promising place where you can go that would have the word process in it. So maybe you want to get rid of some of these files or just concentrate on this one here, Brown J. Looks like it's doing a lot of work there. So you can do that. You come down here, you'll notice you can sort by dispersion. That's how it's spread out throughout the entire file. You can look at all these different types here, the tokens. You can look at the frequency. Frequency just involves the raw number of hits that you get. Normative frequency, that is, if you're comparing two texts, whatever, it shows you two files that shows you which one has the word mentioned more in it. So if you have a file of 1,000 words and it mentions the word dog twice, 2 out of 1,000. But if you have a larger file that has, say, 1 million words and a dog is mentioned 90, then you can ask yourself which one has the word more frequently in it, using normal frequency. So it gives you that sort of perspective of the files in comparing them. So taking a look at this, we have different things here. We can click on this particular one. And again, it'll take us to the file view if that's what we wanted to take a look at. Let's see. So you notice it's not very helpful looking at this right now. So what we can do is we can actually increase this to 3. Why don't we do that? There we go. So now we got a better sense of what it is that we're looking at here. And we can, continue to increase it if we want, that sort of thing. So that really helps. Regarding the overlay function here. So let's say you have particular word, which we just did. We did blue here, right? But let's say I want to see how it relates to the word, say, dog. So I'm going to type in dog here, and I want to show how it's different. So I'm going to use the color scheme here. I'm going to say red for dog, and I'm going to run this. And there you go. So we've had 2 searches, and I've now overlaid them to see if there's any correlations or anything like that here. And doesn't seem to be too much here. But you can take a look at this red here and that. And you can sort of get a sense of how you can compare 2 words across a corpus. Now, if you don't like this particular thing, what you can do is you can go to settings and you can go to tools. And I should mention here that all these particular tools do have changes, settings that you can change. So I'm going to look at plot here. We were looking at the table view, as you notice, right? So we have the file path, we have the file tokens, we have the frequency. I should actually point this out. We should have the frequency of the words that are mentioned and the normative frequency and dispersion listed here. So it gives you a quick numbers, right? Table based. But if you wanted something more visual, you can do plot and you can do graphic like that. And it'll say show plots and this sort of thing here. You have dispersion measures, so you're getting into statistics and stuff like that. I'm not really going to step on that. I just want you to be aware of it. But there we go. So if I apply this, I click start, so I get this listed here, and it breaks it down, each file, into the normative frequency, the frequency, normative frequency, dispersion, and all that sort of thing. So you get a sense of this. And if you wanted to keep this type of item, then you can go to File, and you can save your current tab results. And if it works properly, you will have image files, PNG. So I'll save that. Let's see, where can I put it here? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do plot results here. There you go. And it will show a particular and it'll show these in particular form. All this on one page, if you will. I'm scrolling down here. You'll notice all this will be one image. So there you go. So I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to go back to table view. Apply that. All right. So that is a quick overview of plot. We're now going to do the file view. So I'm going to do process here. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to deselect overlay just to make sure. And here's file view, and I'm going to type in process. And here we have all these listed here, and I don't like what I'm getting, so I am going to clear all this out. And I'm going to open yet again. And it will load up. There we go. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, there we go. Let's see, process. That's a word. And we're now in here. We have 18 file heads listed, very interesting. We have file types and all this listed here under each one. So you get the item, and you can see top here, part has where it says 3-part process. So you can actually, if you want to look at Brown F, which is what we're in right now, you could do that, and you can look at the hit location. So you can actually just click through Brown F and see where the word process is. So it's a very quick way of looking, getting into the text. I go down to Brown R. You'll notice here's the word process, and then it has light blue. You can think you make it out here, right here. So this particular file only has 2 hits up here, and they're both very similar together. And we saw that with the plot feature as well. So that's very much for the file. Now let us go take a look at the collocate function here. So collocate is words that appear frequently within a certain distance of the search term. So sometimes it won't be obvious that a term comes with another term. So this is one way that one can do a lot of exploratory analysis. So words that basically co-occur. So if we were to look at this, let's see. Okay, so here it is. I did the word process again. And it tells me right away, like there were 28 collocates types and collocations 525. Let me just do 1,000 here. And this gives you the word process and how it relates to these. So no surprise here that the process is very much ranked number 1. Frequency on the left is 162, on the right is 74, and the range covers, I think, most of the text. And likelihood of that coming up, that's a statistical point, is very high. And in fact, this is ranked by the likelihood of this coming up, so it's very common. And then also the effect that it has. So I'm looking at this. It's obviously, the isn't that terribly interesting, right? So if we were to click on, let's go down here a little ways. If I were to click on removal and double click on that, it shows removal and it shows removal process. So that's very close collocates. So you go removal process. Oh, very interesting. Let's see. We go back to collocate and we look at stage, one right after that. We see something different. We see stage of and stage of the, stage process, stage R is the, that sort of thing. So you get a little bit more variety in what's related to stage here. See if I go back here, if I take a look at You can sort by likelihoods, frequencies, the range if you wanted, that sort of thing. So I won't do that, but that's something you can see. And if you look under tools again, so settings, tool settings, and you go to collocate, you have all these statistical measures. So log likelihood, either 2-term or 4-term. You have thresholds, what's you considered a p of less than, 0.05, that sort of thing, and all this statistical stuff. So just to let you know, effect size measure, all this that could be used, a t-score, z-score, that sort of thing. So it can get quite involved. All right, so that is collocate. Let's take a look at cluster. So clusters are contiguous word patterns. So for example, it's more often used for like common phrases, that sort of thing. So if we were to do process again, we get a listing here, here's a common phrase, process of, that's very common, frequency, there's 80 cluster types, 197 tokens, frequency, well, process of, it's very common, right? But then it drops off, process the whatever. So from noun to a verb, it looks very interesting. And it goes down here. But, it's just showing 2 words, process and that, right? Because we're looking at the cluster size is 2 here, and we're looking at search term position on the left, on the right, or on the left. So we're looking on the left right now here. So what we could do is we can go up to 4, let's say, cluster size, and then redo it. And then all of a sudden we get a way that we can look at how process is being used. If we do on the right, so we have end of the process, was denied, due process. You get a sense of this. Now you can do a keyword in context, but you'll notice that this is kind of cleaner in the way. So something to keep in mind. Our next feature we're going to look at is n-gram. And here is n-gram, and I'm going to do process. And once again, so this scans the entire corpus. That's why it took so long, and it looks for n-size clusters. So right now it says n-gram size down here for 2. So again, it's showing 2 again. So this looks very familiar to what we were just looking at in terms of clusters. So you can look for, it's good for finding, again, common expressions if that's your interest. You'll notice all the types up here. There's 80 out of 442,000, and the tokens are 197. So it gives you a good idea of what you have in your text. All right, so taking a look at this. And in fact, what one can do, if one wanted to do a little bit different here, we could say no words, and look at the n-grams across the entire corpus without looking for any particular word. And here is something that we get. We're looking at n-gram size, so 2 words together. So of the most common, right? In the, prepositional, beginning of prepositional phrases, right there. So not terribly exciting. You'll notice like n.t, there's probably an apostrophe in there, that sort of thing, which is why it's showing that. So very raw search, but you get a sense of what you can find in there. All right, so if I'm going to do process again, There we go. We have the 2. I'm going to go up to 4 again. There we go. So it does take a little bit of time because it's searching the whole thing, right? So here it is again, the rank, the frequency that is listed, and the range. So range doesn't add too much, but you get a sense of what's here with regards to the word processed. We were to change this to 1. Let's see what we would get. We would get the word process is ranked 1. It's mentioned 197 times, and the range is 14 out of the 15 texts. So we're basically back to keyword searching. Okay. Now, the next feature is the word list. Right. And if we want to do word list, we could do this. So it counts all the words in the corpus and presents them in an ordered list. So you can search for frequency. This is another way you can search for frequency. And look at that. You get the same thing just under word. Now, if we wanted to do nothing here, we want to do words, and no nothing here, we could start this. And there you go. You have the complete list. There's 41,490 words in this corpus, and there's just a little over 1 million words listed here. So you can literally go through and look at all these if you want to, scroll all the words. Here, these particular ones are listed the most. The frequency, 69,000, 70,000 times, and then all the way down. So not very interesting in that regard, but it's something to be aware of. Now, if I were to do process, but no words selected here, so I'm just going to do that. Look what I get. I get back to this, which we've seen before, with the frequency and the range across the text. So one could do that. And of course, if I were to do select words here, I would get this, very specific. So you have to be very careful what you're selecting and what you're not selecting. Otherwise, you'll get very different results. All right, our next one is keyword. So this keyword shows words that appear unusually frequently in the target corpus in comparison to the reference corpus based on keywords. So that's a statistical measure of what you can do with this. So you're looking at the keyness, you're based on the number of occurrences that are greater than chance. That's what likelihood is listed here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all this out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Open Corpus Manager. And you're going to be exposed to this page here. And I'm going to show you some stuff in a second here. But what I want to do is I want to do a reference. So you notice I switched here. So this database here is American English database. It was created about around the year 2006, give or take a lot of text from that period. So I love to use it to compare it with the 1961 Brown corpus of American English. So it's kind of cool in that regard. And let's see, we want to do that. And that's a target. So we have the target right here under blue. And the purple here is reference. Notice on the left-hand side here, we have the target corpus listed here, our original brown text, and then here's the reference corpus. So there we go. And now we can do our search. Let's see what happens. So we're comparing both. It's going to take a little bit of time. And here we go. So we notice a lot of the types here are not listed. You'll have the ranks, the N is very, the letter N, not too sure why, but there it is. You have the frequency target, the frequency reference, range target, range reference. So you get to compare the two corpora to each other, looking at, where's one word that's mentioned. Khrushchev here is mentioned in the target, back in 61, kind of important. But look, under the reference corpus from 2006, Khrushchev's only mentioned once. So that's sort of a way you can take a look at these particular comparing corpora. You look at the keyness, the likelihood that it shows up. So that's based on a number of occurrences, and then the keyness effect as well, references to the size of that. So that is a very quick way you can look at these particular items. If you go to tool settings, click on keyword, you can see raw values, normalized values. Again, you have the different statistical measures that you can use. You have thresholds as well of p values. You have the effect size measure. So you have, in this case, dice. Don't ask me what these are. So t-score and z-score, familiar statistical measures for sure. And then thresholds, top 5. So you have all these different ways that you can look at this. So it's good to have a basic understanding of statistics so that one can go in and play with it and get reasonable results. So you're not misinterpreting what you're getting. All right, so that is that. So those are all the features here. There is word cloud here, and you can look at various things here. Scratch pad, if we did that, here's all these wonderful words. If you look at scratch pad here, so you can type in a whole bunch of words if you wanted to and put them in there, and voila, you get a nice little appearance in there. If one were to look at, let's see, keyword, let's see what would happen here. Oh, no data selected. Let's see if I can go to keyword. So I went to keyword, and what it does, it loaded up all this, and word clouds are fun. You can throw them up out there. Other than a quick visualization, they're not all that useful. It's the output value. You have the type. So which one do I want? Do I want to use the frequency target? Do I want to use the range reference? Let's do that. Let's see what happens. So that's the label. Let's do that. Range reference. Oh, okay. And my thing just crashed. So that does happen on occasion with AntConc. I'll tell you that right now. And I am going to need to share my screen again. There you go. So I'm telling you, once you get in the sophisticated part of things, it will show, it will on occasion crash. So don't be too intimidated by that, but just to let you know. All right, so what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to look at Open Corpus Manager here. So we're loading quick corpus files, but we can actually do this. So looking at the corpus manager here, you'll notice a number of things here. So you have the default corpora that's listed here. So you have American English from 2006, roughly. You have British English as well. If I were to click on these, it shows you all these particular databases that one could use as representative, or you can just search the whole thing. You'll notice the color-based mean they're green, they're available for you. If you're not too sure, you can connect online and you can update these. So do you want to update these? You bet. And they've been updated. Sometimes they take longer than that, but that's fine. So you have that sense there that you can put, and then you have a demo database listed here. Under users, I've put up a whole bunch of things. So I have the different, I've been using word lists. I've been using putting them up and doing comparisons and that sort of thing. You also have your temp database here, which is pretty huge, 264 megabytes, as opposed to the smaller brown corpus. So just to give you an idea that this is, you can upload stuff as you wish. If I wanted to delete something here, let me see, what can I do? I can do this here. I can select on that and it'll say red. Will now be, so if I click on update, it says you're about to delete a corpus. You want to do that? I say, you betcha. So there you go. It has been updated and it's gone. So there you go. Different ways that one can use this. You can do raw files up here. That's the corpus database that's listed. You can do raw files here, so you can add your files and go here as you wish, or a directory. Here you have indexer, so you can do a lot of, you can look at what kind of encoding that you want to use on your set here. If you want to use other, you have this list here of all this stuff here. There's a lot of different languages in that. UTF, you have show token definition settings. So I clicked on that, and this is a way you can bury down how you want to define your particular tokens. So this is more of an advanced class than anything else. So we're not going to do that right now. You have meta tables if you want to compare across tables listed here. And you also have head words, lemmas and that. So if you're doing, ancient Greek or something like that, and you want to be very, you want to do use lemma searching, this is one way you can set up a file and go from there. And so a lot of different ways you can work with text. Under word list here, you can also put up your word list. So if you have a stop word list, for example, you can put that up as well and go from there. So, all right, we are coming up to about 55 minutes here. So I'm going to stop. You'll notice here, you have target corpus and reference corpus. So you can swap these out here. I should mention under corpus databases here, it has a demo database. So I double click on that. It shows you that's in use. That's what purple represents. In this particular case, it's an open access copy of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland within the public domain. So one could use this as sort of a starting off point to do some basic searching. If one just wanted to search one particular novel, for example, this is something that you can do. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. So does anyone have any questions? Stop sharing here. I don't see any questions in the chat room. Well, all right. Thank you very much for coming today. I hope this was useful. Once it's finished recording, I'll be put up on our Catholic University of America Library's YouTube channel, where all our digital scholarship workshops are recorded and put up there, so you can go and take a look and consult it at any time. I'm also available for any one-on-one consultations. You can just contact me at gunn, G-U-N-N, @cua.edu, and we'll have a conversation about doing text analysis in general, or using AntConc in particular. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Have a great day.